Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Manus, the dietitian with AS. I just wanted to jump on. I've been thinking about this for a while and started to write it a few times and it's just taken too long. So I thought I'd jump on and tell you all about my experience with Humira when I started that and what happened with my weight and yeah. So basically I've been on Humira for about 9 months now. So when I started taking it, I thought I'd read all the side effects and all that kind of stuff, and weight gain was mentioned in there. And I didn't pay much attention to it, to be honest. But probably a week or two in, I noticed that all my clothes were starting to become a little bit tight. So as a dietitian, I have a body composition scanner in my clinic and in body 230, and that's really good because it actually gave me the opportunity to jump on and have a look at what's going on with my muscle mass, with my body fat mass, with my fluid balance, and my metabolic rate or my metabolism. And I noticed something really interesting. So I noticed that my muscle mass had plummeted. I lost about 3 kilos of muscle mass in 1 to 2 weeks, and I actually gained 5 kilos of body fat. So I gained about 2 kilos, but my body composition changed, deteriorated for the worst. So my initial thought was that, okay, so Humira must be metabolized in the muscle. So if I up my protein, I will get my muscle mass back and the body fat will come back down and everything will be normal again. So I did that. I upped my protein, and a week or two later I jumped back on the body composition scanner and I'd recovered a fair bit of the muscle mass. I'd recovered about 2 kilos or something of that, not all of it. And I lost some of the body fat, but not all of it. I still had about 2 kilos of extra body fat than I did before. But I noticed that my basal metabolic rate or my metabolism was still reading quite low. So it was still reading about 300 calories, 300 to 400 calories less than previously, which was probably like 1,200 kilojoules, like equivalent to a main meal. So all of a sudden, my metabolic rate was always in the normal range and it was low. So it's like a slow metabolism. So if you think about your metabolic rate, it's the number of calories that your body needs to maintain its vital organ function at rest. So for your brain to work, for your heart to beat, skin to repair itself, all that kind of stuff. And this drop was more than just the little bit of muscle mass loss. That muscle mass wouldn't have counted for that much reduction in my basal metabolic rate. So my next visit with my rheumatologist, I asked him about this change and whether Humira was metabolized in the muscle, and didn't really get a clear answer on that one. But as long as I'm eating enough protein for me, then I can maintain that muscle mass. With the reduced metabolic rate, basically he explained it to me, and he hadn't thought about that much, but when he did, he said straight away, like he didn't have to think about it, that I was hypermetabolic. So basically my body had been working in overdrive for the past probably 20 years, trying to deal with the chronic inflammation, and now that was suddenly reduced and my body didn't have to fight anymore. So all of a sudden my energy needs had gone down. And because I'd been in this fight state for so long, that's what my body thought was normal. So now it didn't have to fight. It had reduced the number of calories that I needed over the day because it wasn't doing that fighting. I found that really interesting. So even though before I started Humira, I wasn't doing well and had I was probably only taking about 3,000 or 4,000 steps per day. And after I started the Humira, I'm quite active now. I try to do something most days. And to be honest, I'm probably 1 to 2 kilos over what I was when I started. My muscle mass has finally recovered to where it was 9 months ago. But that body fat, yeah, probably still just over. And I'm still in the normal, the usual BMI. Like I've got a BMI of 23. I'm not overweight, but I suppose knowing that now my metabolic rate is lower than it was before, it just means that I need to be more aware of, those extra treats and things like that. So that was really interesting. So if anyone else has the opportunity to get some body composition scans, before or after they start their Humira, it'd be interesting to see your results. But yeah, that was my experience. So basically what happened for me was my muscle mass dropped, my body fat increased, and my basal metabolic rate or my metabolism went down. So my muscles recovered, my body fat's come down, but my basal metabolic rate or my metabolism is just been shot, really. So yeah, not something that I expected, not something that I read would happen anywhere. But yeah, now something that, look, I'm pretty happy to deal with it because I don't have to deal with as much pain as I did before. So yeah, that's my experience. I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments and your experiences. So feel free to type those into the comments. Thanks very much. See ya.